Hey guys, Arctic Airgunner here. Let's take a look at my most current setup for the rifle range. So the bag I'm using is a Tasmanian Tiger. It's the short modular TT rifle bag. This one is designed for a single rifle. The other one I have, the longer one, it's a double rifle bag, but it doesn't fit in my fat bike trailer, so I ordered a shorter one specifically for the Maverick with the 600mm barrel. In this top compartment, I have my FX True Ballistic Chronograph. Fits perfectly, almost as if the bag was designed for it. It's a little tight, but I like them that way. In this longer pocket, I've got targets and a stapler, things like that. And in the main rifle compartment, naturally, I've got the rifle. It just came. I haven't even taken the tags off yet. So, this is my FX Maverick. Here's my hearing protection. Sordan. Earmuffs. I think you guys have seen them before. 25-meter range. Just next to me. Anyway, so let me pick up the camera for a moment. This is my FX Maverick. Now you guys have seen it before, but of course not in this case. But I'll just go through it quickly. We've got a 600mm slug barrel on it now. So there's specifically meant for slugs, and it's doing an excellent job. We've got a 710cc carbon fiber tank. We've got the Sightmark Wraith 4K Max day-night scope. There's a reason for that, but we'll leave that to your imagination. I've got a bag rider now. This is from Sabre Tactical. I've decided to go ahead and start investing in their equipment. They make amazing gear, but I've tried and failed to use a lot of 3D printed stuff, but I haven't found a 3D printed maker yet who makes quality 3D prints. There's one channel on YouTube, I don't remember his name now. I should put it up on the screen though, because his prints seem pretty awesome, but that's neither here nor there for now. I've got the Slug Power kit. So that's the tungsten hammer and spring. My front reg is set, the bottle regulator is at 200, and the plenum regulator is at 180, 175, 180, something like that. Anyway, this bag is my slugs. And then I've got a silencer. I'm using the Huma-Air modular silencer, by the way. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm using a Harris S bipod. I'm going to be replacing that with a bipod that attaches to the side rails pretty soon. Let me put the camera back down. All right. Here is my Huma-Air silencer or moderator. It's the modular version, so you can add sections as you like or as you need. It also quiets down this monster pretty well, so I'm quite happy about that. And then in this last pocket, I have tools for the Maverick and fill probe and lube and things like that. So as you can see, I'm out at the 50-meter range. This is a range called Hiukkavaara. It's an old army base. I love this place. Actually, I did my ham radio license here years ago. Let's go ahead and put the moderator on. Oh yeah, there's my fat bike, if you guys are interested in that. I try to do all of my shooting in a way that is as portable as possible, man portable, actually. So either hiking or on the bike, but primarily on the bike. Actually, I'll let you have a look at the bike. So it's an electric fat bike, but it's pedal assist. It doesn't go by itself. So I can still get some exercise on it. It's a 2019 model of the GZR. Nothing special. It's made of Chinesium. I've got front and rear racks on it, plus panniers. The panniers are not on it now, but no matter. But I also have something, a trailer that I use to carry my tent and or hammock or whatever equipment I happen to be carrying that day. So this trailer is from Vevor or Vevor. I'm not quite sure how to say it. So this allows me to carry, like I said, it allows me to carry the tent, my food or other equipment, things like that. And then I lay the rifle bag on top of the trailer so that then I just lay the rifle bag on top of the trailer. It works out extremely well. I can also connect up another bag and panniers on the rear of this. So it's pretty nice. I had to order a modified attachment point for it. That was kind of annoying, but ultimately it turned out pretty good. I also had to move my rear pannier rack to a different location, but that also worked out extremely well. So I'm really pleased with this. For, what was it, about 329 euros, something like that. I think that's under 400 bucks. I mean, it was a pretty good deal. So there's some guys on YouTube saying, you know, you can stuff this thing to the max, like put a moose in there. Don't believe it. Ultimately, it's Chinese. It is good, but I wouldn't say that it's high quality. But it is good, and definitely enough to carry enough equipment. For example, for an off-grid fat bike expedition, to be out maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days, something like that, with dehydrated food, maybe even a week. But that's it. That's the Vevor fat bike trailer, or cargo trailer, and I actually love it. Oh, yeah. This is where I'm shooting today. And this is just one of the places. There's many more. Also 100 meter, 250, 300 meter, and there might be a 500 meter range. I'm not sure. So just to show you what the goal is here today, guys, I'm shooting 2 strings. Let's see if I can get the camera over here. So I've got Slug HP and Heavy Slug, both H&N. One is 44 grain slug, the other is 32 grain slug. And what I want to do is measure the energy from the muzzle out to 50 meters. It's 55 yards. These are my preferred slugs. They work really well in the Maverick, and I've had a lot of luck with them. Groups could be tighter, but that's probably more about the shooter than about the rifle. All right, let's put some downrange. So we're going to send these slugs downrange using the FX Maverick, but we're going to measure the performance of these slugs in the Maverick using the FX True Ballistic Chronograph. Now, I have a kind of a pet peeve with some of the airgun channels on YouTube. If you're going to review an airgun, especially when you're talking about the speed and energy or power that an airgun produces, I want to see the numbers in real time. For this reason, I invested in the True Ballistic Chronograph from FX. It's expensive, but it's an excellent investment for a YouTube airgunner. Actually, even for a normal gun tuber, since we can actually show the performance of the projectile at the muzzle as well as downrange. And then we can use that data to compare it to other projectiles or other setups for our rifles or pistols. Anyway, let's send some downrange. So we're on a new day at the range. Sun's coming out and it's actually quite beautiful. We're still at Hiukkavaara. Same place, but different booth shooting. We're shooting 32 grain slugs. The rifle is set up just the same way. We're at 200 on the bottle and 180 about on the plenum. Sight mark Wraith, day-night scope. Sorry, this is the 4K max. So we're going to send 5 shots downrange with the 32 grain H&N slugs. Fire in the hole. (1081) at 83 foot-pounds. (1086) at 83.9 foot-pounds. (1085) at 83.7 foot-pounds. I need to adjust that 0 after the barrel swap. (1085) at 83.7. And for the last one, (1087) at 84 foot-pounds. Hammer spring tension is on number 1, by the way. Now we're going to put 5 shots downrange using the 44 grain slugs. Fire in the hole. (976 FPS at 93.1 foot-pounds. (980 FPS at 93.8 foot-pounds. 981 FPS at 94.1 foot-pounds. (929 FPS at 84.4 foot-pounds. And for the last one, 963 FPS at 90.6 foot-pounds. That's insane. I'm still on hammer spring tension number 1. So this is what I wanted to show you. Now you have to think about SHTF. And the discussion I'm trying to open on this channel is this. Using the FX True Ballistic Chronograph, we can actually see how much energy the projectile has at a certain distance. For me, it's out to 300 meters. Now, back in the day, the U.S. Army said 50 foot-pounds was pretty much the devastation point, let's say it that way, for a projectile's ability to critically injure. What this tells us now, since I'm normally using a 44 grain projectile, I wanted to get a higher shot count, so I reduced the projectile's weight to 32 grains. And now we can see at the muzzle we have 81.5 foot-pounds at 1071 FPS. At 50 meters, that's 63.7. And at 100 meters, that's 52.8. That's still over the what we consider a devastating amount of energy. At 150 meters, it's definitely weak, but still good for small game hunting in an SHTF situation, for example, a rabbit or something like that. At 300 meters, I might as well start throwing rocks. Anyway, the True Ballistic Chronograph gives us all of this data, and it's real data. It's not calculated, it's measured. And we can do the same thing with a 44 grain slug, or if we're using a different caliber, for example, we move up to 30 caliber and we go to a 50 grain or a 60 grain slug, But more importantly, we can also measure now how much energy, devastating energy, we have for a certain length of barrel, either a shorter barrel with a heavier grain projectile or a longer barrel. We can also see how the heavier grain projectiles maintain the momentum for longer distance than the lighter grains like this 32. I know some of you are using like 25 grain. Anyway, I'm just rambling now, so okay guys, this is what I wanted to show you about the True Ballistic Chronograph, and I hope you appreciate what I'm trying to convey here. YouTube is pretty, how they are. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, guys.